good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon, everybody. And how the devil are you? Record numbers waiting today. 42 people sat waiting for Brew at 2. Let's just shut this one up. There's an advert on at the moment. That's better. That's better. Another week, another day, another dollar. And here we are again. We're all back together. I'm in my winter plumage today because to be honest, I'm frozen. My little fingers are like ice. I've been out this morning. It's a lovely, gorgeous day, but oh, it's nippy. Oh, it's nippy. So anyway, welcome back. Welcome back to Brew at 2, our favourite chat show on Visit FYLDE Coast. And today we have another packed agenda. I have lots of bits of things. We've got the bat bag. I've just had a look through the joke book for 1 or 2 jokes before we start. Got new bats. Oh, we've got lots to do. So we'll crack on, shall we? But we'll start with an observation from Elizabeth Carroll Hodgson. And Elizabeth Carroll Hodgson obviously knows me better than everybody else does, because she said, are you ready? We love watching Brew at 2, but Jane, would you like to know how many times you said so? So, it's usually so, not so, so. She reckons it's 51. Now, I wouldn't be at all surprised if it were actually 51, because it is something that I say a lot. It's a bit like a verbal punctuation mark. Isn't that right, T-boy?
Yes, you come in, you sit quiet and everybody says so, and you go so.
Yes, it's one of my favourite sayings is so. So if anybody razor-witted wants to have a go at counting how many times I say so in this hour, that might be quite interesting, and we'll see if it's a world record. We'll see if it's a world record breaking so. Anybody who is wondering if you're watching this new, I mean, obviously you lovely people are all regulars and you're all used to our weird and wacky videos on Visit FYLDE Coast. But if anybody is watching this new and you've not been here before, well, hi, where have you been all our life? Brew at 2 is our weekly live chat where we talk about all kinds of random rubbish. Some of it's related to the FYLDE Coast, and it's just a nice chat with friends. Yes, it's St David's Day today, Andrea. It's also Pancake Day as well, which...
No, we're not.
No, we're not having pancakes today. We're not having pancakes today, although I am partial to a freshly made pancake. You may be wondering, if you're new here, why we've got bats hanging in the background. Well, Brew at 2 spells bats, which of course we all are. We're all fruit batty. So that's why it's called bats. That's why we're all bats. Shorthand instead of having to type it all out. So we are a tiny little independent business. Brew at 2 is free to watch, but donations are welcomed, as they say, in all the best charitable places. And all donations are contributed towards making more new great content for you lovely viewers. So, on the subject, that's number 1. Shall we ring the bell every time I say it? Just nearly said it again. You're going to make me really self-conscious now. On the subject of making new content for all you lovely viewers, most of you will be getting, if you've got any sense, our email newsletter. And our email newsletter has gone out every Tuesday morning at 7 o'clock this morning. I was sat there typing away, sending out all the latest information and the interesting stuff. Well, it's cloned itself. It's got a brother now. So the brother to it is going out at the weekend to help you to plan what you might want to do. So if you are a local, there is all kinds of things on it. There's an events list for the weekend, for Saturday and Sunday and Friday, and there will be, as we go through the year, there'll be sort of special features about big events like the carnivals and the galas and all that kind of thing. So you'll make sure that you are going to get all the information from that. So you need to sign up for that. So the link for that is underneath in the video. But we've also been looking for other ways of sending out information to make sure that people get things, because social media is wholly unreliable. To that effect, can you see that I'm very carefully avoiding saying so? We are trialling a new way of sending updates to you every time we update. I update something on the website, and we're using a system called FeedBurner. It's a Google product, and Google have kept saying that they were going to discontinue it, but it's still working. It's still online a long time after they said they were discontinuing it. I think that they're continuing with it. So I'm going to open it up to all you lovely people. If you want to get an update, it looks like this, and it comes into your inbox, and it literally gives you the heading, a little bit of writing, and the link to click on if you want to find out more. And all you need to do, that's completely free, and all you need to do is to just sign up for it. So I will put the link underneath the video when we've finished. If anybody's discombobulated and doesn't understand it, just ask and I shall explain. But there's a few of you have been sort of beta testing one, people, and you've already been receiving that. So the rest of you will sort of roll it out slowly, make sure it works before we unleash it on the general public. Right, obviously, buying merchandise, Brew at 2 Cups, etc., supports our channel. And once you have a Brew at 2 Cup, that also gets you onto the bat map. That gets you onto the bat map. And I have a new bat to add on to the... Ow! Ooh. That's it. I've just stuck the pin through the back. Oh, that was sharp. I kept saying I needed to make sure I didn't do that. This is a little bit confusing, so just bear with me a second. Sue bought a mug for Sylvia. So Sue's already on the bat map. But it was Sue's birthday last week, so Sylvia came in to buy a mug for Sue. But Sylvia's not on the map. So because Sylvia's now got a mug for Sue, and Sue bought a mug for Sylvia, I need to put Sylvia on the map. Did you follow that? Did you follow that? Drum roll. We got it in the end. So here we have Sylvia from Cleveland's, and Sylvia needs to go on the bat map. Round of applause for Sylvia. I've got the wrong pen. And I really must rearrange these labels because we're running out of room. We've got a little bit down in, what's that water called, above Cornwall and underneath Ireland, Dad?
English Channel.
Yeah. Is that bit there? That bit.
I can't lift it a bit.
That bit.
It's the Irish Sea, surely.
It says this is Irish Sea. We've got a little bit of space in the Irish Sea. But I don't know. It's between Wales and Ireland. Does anybody know what that sea's called between Wales and Ireland?
Irish Sea. It's called the Irish
I know
Sea.
this bit up here's Irish Sea. Where's the line? Where's the line that you know when you're out of one sea into another? Oh, you don't have to be mad to live here, do you? But it certainly helps. Right.
Celtic Sea, it says.
Celtic.
Mm.
Celtic Sea. Ooh.
Don't know how far up it goes.
Exactly. Where's the line?
Yeah.
Where's the line in the water? And in fact, is there a line in the water? That's another question. You see, we ponder all these big, deep and meaningful questions on Brew at Tool, like where's the line on the map? Moving on swiftly to the scam tally. Now you'll notice that I've not been adding my numbers up and showing myself up in public, but we are now down to a cool 14 million, and we've only been doing this a few weeks since Christmas. You'll be pleased to know that we have a new scam to add on to the tally today, and that is $5,500,000, and that is from Lewis Nathan, personal attorney to late Mr. Ron. And his wife and daughter were involved in a car accident while visiting a neighbouring country on vacation. Or say, I need your assistance in repatriating the fund left by the client. And they've issued a notice to provide his next of kin or have his account confiscated. And apparently he's my next of kin, which is quite astonishing, isn't it? So we'll put that on here, shall we? Because I think that's a scam. So Mr. Ron has left us $5,500,000.
Does he want a receipt?
Yes, T-Boy has just pointed out, does he want a receipt? I'll add that on later because then I don't. My maths is as good as my geography. So, but if taking the mickey out of scams on a weekly basis stops people from falling for scams, remember this, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. It probably is. So, right, moving on to more serious world issues. What do you think to Putin? Seamlessly from scans to wars. So, I thought that. It is his coffee. Have you given me Kevin's?
Oh, I don't know. Which day of the week?
I think I've got to buy training's drink. So, yes, Ukraine and Putin, and I mean, I'm laughing, but it is far from funny, and I just feel so sorry for the people that are stuck in the middle of all that. It must be horrendous. It's like World War II all over again. So if anybody's a good aim with a rifle or a pistol or something, maybe you could perhaps, pop across to Russia and pop him off. So that's horrible. I can't tell you. I'm laughing now, but I've been watching the news and sort of shuddering and thinking, you can only imagine what this has got potential to bubble up into. As Eric's just said, it could turn into World War III quite easily, and I think World War III will be a very different World War to the last one as well. But on a daily basis, here in Cleveland, you won't really know anything was happening other than apparently people have already been queuing for petrol. And the electric and the gas has gone up. And obviously it's our duty to brighten your day up and to make you feel more cheerful, even in these dire times. And as Eric says, he's got friends with relatives in Poland near the border, so I can only imagine how they must feel. It must be awful. I think unanimously is what I'm trying to say. All the world and his wife and his mother and his auntie all disagree with Putin, but well, what can you say? But it's our duty to see the brighter side of life and to cheer you up and not be doom and gloom and despondency. So I'd like to raise the issue this afternoon. I'd like to raise the issue of the electric and the gas and the use of resources in the domestic environment, namely how much water T-Boy puts in the kettle. I've just heard him slam his pen down.
In future, I shall put 3 cupfuls in. And yours will be empty.
Because you know how God invented that scale on an electric kettle, whereby when you start filling it up, you can tell how much water you've put in. Well, you can see how big these cups are, and that's kind of an average cup size. And T-Boy's got this really annoying, habit of filling the kettle right to the top when he's only making a couple of drinks. Isn't that right, T-Boy in training?
He's a very naughty boy.
He wouldn't know because he never makes a cup of tea.
I won't come in here, Kevin.
I'm still training.
It's,
Does it keep your head down time?
Yeah, we've gone
I won't come in here, Kevin.
Hello, everybody.
We've gone seamlessly from Putin and World War III to how much water T-Boy puts in the kettle.
Got a joke.
Go on.
Happy flipping pancake day.
Is that it?
That fell a bit flat, didn't it?
Go on, sit down. Oh,
Oh dear.
Bye.
Oh dear. Oh dear. Bye. So yes. So I thought about that the other day, and Chrissy, my darling mother, had written a blog the other day, which I know quite a few of you have read. It's on our Visit FYLDE Coast website, and the link to it is still on the front page. And she'd commented about people leaving lights on and just wandering off and leaving them all blazing. So I thought I'd just bring it up and say that if anybody, usually women, suffer the same trouble at home with their gentlemen folk, you might like to have a read at Chris's blog and see whether or not you agree. Sorry, darling, am I boring you? Sounds like he's ready for a nap. So while we're on the subject of Chrissy, well, are you sitting comfortably? Are you sitting comfortably? Then I shall begin. Kevin, I think your drink might taste like mine.
Why?
Because I've got yours.
because apparently I've given you the one with arsenic in.
Did you hear that? Did you hear that?
Seriously?
Well, I've drunk it now. It's too late.
Is it? Try that.
No, I'm
It's
drunk
tea.
this. I know, but this is
Tea.
coffee.
Chris is getting a lot better. She's noticing all the dust.
That's better. Right, anyway. Chrissy.
I think he's put tea and coffee in mine.
Chrissy. Yes, you see, Matt. Matt says, you are so right. We only fill our kettle for the amount of tea that we're making. Yes. And with the price of it, and that nutcase holding on to the pipeline and turning the tap off, we're all going to have to shiver. Make sure that you get that solar gain and get your blinds open and stop your drafts. Anyway. So Chrissy, right, well, where do we begin? Right, we begin on Friday at lunchtime. So I dropped excuse me, have you just opened the window?
Oh. It never happened. It never happened.
Honestly, it's not that warm.
Don't need to come for a slap.
It's not that warm. Definitely. Come here. Come here and have a swat.
It was a bit warm, sorry.
Oh.
Thanks.
Oh, well, I'm just going to give you a backhander then. So on Friday at lunchtime, I dropped some friends off and went into Cleveland's to make some videos, which you've probably watched. And when I came back in, T-Boy said to me with that face, "We've had a visitor." And the cardiac nurse had turned up. which we were expecting her kind of roughly any time round about then. So she'd done blood, she'd done an ECG, fine, went, forgotten all about it. And yes, we did have a Cornish pasty from Grimes for our tea on Friday, and it was very nice, I might add, very nice, highly recommended. So there we were, me and our Chrissy, 7:45 it was, yes. We were tucked up on the settee watching the telly, and all at once the phone rang, and our phone never rings at that time of night. So I thought, better answer it. So I got up, went across the room and answered the phone. And this voice says, "Can I speak to Christine Littlebud, please?" I thought, oh God, what? So it was the out of hours doctor, and her blood tests that had been taken that day were way wrong. Her potassium level was sky high. She had to go to hospital that minute. So we're both stood there, like this, you know, we're both gym jams and ready for bed and unwinding and relaxing and whatnot. So off she went with Kevin to the Vic. So apparently, did you know they give you insulin to bring high
And
potassium
glucose.
down? Insulin and glucose. Yes, I didn't know that either. And she never made it out of A&E. A&E in Blackpool is like a black hole. You can't get any internet or telephone signal at all. In or out. So she can't contact us. We can't contact her. So I know where she is, and that's about my limit. So eventually, at about 3 o'clock on Saturday afternoon, she managed to ring me by toggling her phone to one of the nurses' phones who got a signal. Work that out if you can. And then 7:45 on Saturday night, us three are sat watching television, and the phone rings again. Come and fetch her. So, well, what can you say? Anyway, she's fine. She's fine on herself. The experience of having a potassium rightened in a very quick, short space of time made her feel quite ill while she was in hospital. But it just shows you that woman has got more lives than a cat. More lives than a cat. She's not been eating bananas, June. She's not been eating bananas. So, yeah, life carries on at the funny farm. Anyway, the cardiac nurse is coming on Friday to do bloods again. After I asked her to. So that's the Chrissy update. Yes, she's still eating. She's eating enough, but I think we've just about filled her. She's starting to not ask for puddings, which is a good thing because I'm getting fatter and fatter and fatter. That's that. That's the Chrissy story. Moving on. Where have I been today? Why am I in my winter plumage, and why was I so cold? Well, I've been out this morning because, as you can see, the sun's shining, and apparently it's going to be grey and rainy and dull the rest of the week. So I thought I'd better get off and get something done while the sun's out. So, Hannah is from Yorkshire, and she's a fellow Case Chippy fan. Where are you from in Yorkshire, Hannah? Put us a message on, and then we can see if you're from the same neck of the woods as me. So I've been to north end of Blackpool this morning to make some videos while the sun's shining, and I started off with a bit of a hot potato locally at the moment, and that is the promenade at Anchorstone, because it's sprouted a series of ramps, and it's the first time I've seen them this morning. They've only been done about a week, and Kevin commented about them when he'd been out. And basically they've put, Selby, very nice, Hannah. They've put ramps along the promenade at Anchorstone to slow people down because they've had nutcases. They've had a bad attack of nutcases. Basically, not just ordinary average common garden nutcases, but properly speedy nutcases. and in an hour, when they were doing some measurements, they clocked 110 and 90 miles an hour, would you believe? So that's where they've put the ramps in, and apparently they've been doing all kinds of things. So there you go. Once again, a minority affect it for the rest of us. Matt's asking if there's any Metropole news. No Metropole news, other than I believe it's still got the Afghan refugees in it. So I would presume at some point there will be poor displaced people from Ukraine heading our way, not necessarily to Blackpool but to Britain, and you can only be glad you're not in their boat. So that's that. While I was out, I've been and done some North Shore look around videos, so I shall be uploading those in the course of the next couple of days. Thought I better not set it running when we were just about to do Brew at 2, because we could have been there a while. Right, are we ready? I think at that point we need a joke. And as I said, I've had a look in the joke book. And I've marked a couple. Are you ready? This one made me smile. Are you ready, Kevin?
Hello.
Joke time.
Good.
Drum roll. A man goes into a library and says, "A portion of fish and chips, please." The librarian says, "Don't you realise this is a library?" "Sorry," says the man, and then whispers very quietly, "A portion of fish and chips, please." You like that? Told you they were good. Here's another one. This is a good one. You ready? Drum roll. A man is suffering from terrible pain in his guts. In the end, does he need the Bristol stool chart, I wonder? In the end, he goes to the doctors and has some tests done. A few weeks later, he is called back to be given the results. "Well," says the doctor, "I've got some good news and some bad news. Which would you like first?" "Okay," says the man, "let's have the good news first." "Well," says the doctor, "they're going to name a disease after you." Do you get that? I don't think T-Boy in Train is listening.
No, I didn't get it.
I didn't get it.
Oh, dear me. They're going to name a disease after you.
Yeah.
That's the good news, that you're going to have a disease called Littlewood syndrome.
Right, so what's the bad news?
The bad news is you're seriously ill and you've got something brand new wrong with you. Oh,
what's
goodness
it?
me.
Oh.
Goodness me. That's a Shall I have another one?
Did you find a funny one?
Shall I have another one? Are you ready? You like this? The old lady's complaint. Are you ready? You listening?
Yeah.
A policeman is called round to an old lady's house. "It's the man next door," she tells him. "It's absolutely disgusting. I can see right into his house from my bedroom, and he wanders around all day with the curtains wide open, naked as the day he was born." The policeman is very concerned and looks out of the window to check on this exhibitionist next door. "Just a minute," says the policeman. "I don't seem to be able to see into your neighbour's house at all from here." "Oh, you can," says the old lady, "if you climb on top of the wardrobe." Which I thought was quite... I thought that was quite funny, that one. Did you like that one? Did you like that one? Right, anyway, moving on.
Moving on.
Yes. Give me yes. Moving on. Right, don't forget stamps need using up before January 2023. And I've been in John's hardware shop in Bispam today, and I gave him a paper £20 note to pay for my nails that I bought. And he said, have you been under the bed? And he said that the 20s, the old 20s, the paper 20s, are being discontinued.
When?
Next year.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So he said, get them spent, get them used.
Jones.
Right. I've got lots of comments and things here that you've sent in. So I should have read this out last week. This is from Paul and Diane Williams from Bartley Green in Birmingham. Are you with us, Paul and Diane? Are you there? Are you with us today? And I just thought it was a nice comment. This get lots of nice comments from lots of nice people. So I thought I'd read this one out, and they just said that we feel like we know you like a member of our extended family. We've all come through a very, very, very horrible time, and I think there might be another one to come, Paul. But for some reason, it's made us as a human race, it's made us more determined to carry on and push through with human endeavour. I think that's true. I think that's true of the nice people, except Putin. I think COVID's perhaps turned his brain. Perhaps he's annoyed because it didn't start in Russia, and it came from China, and perhaps he wanted to put that credit to his name as well. Jane Kelt last time asked me to let you know that you have an opportunity to name a storm. Now, we've already had a Jane and a Kevin. They were in quick succession one year, about 3 years ago. So we've already been stormed, as you might say. And apparently, the Met Office will consider your suggestion if you've got a name that you would like to suggest. So Jane has nominated Storm Pickle, because we'd all be in a pickle if it carries on, which I think it rather will do, actually, if I'm honest. So if you go on the Met Office website, you can register your suggestions there. So that's from Jane. Right, next one is Andrea Williams. She asked me to give a message last week. If you send emails in too late, I can't guarantee if you send me something on a Tuesday morning that I will actually pick it up in time for Tuesday afternoon's programme, but I will do my best. I think this was from last week, actually. So Andrea says, I'd like to see you out and about again and hope Chrissy's feeling better. Yes, she is. Thank you, Andrea. Thank you for the mention on last Thursday's live in Blackpool. We are now back home from the Magic Convention, which was great. They'd learnt a few new tricks, but mainly how to stay upright in gale force winds. Oh my God, the weather. Well, yes, sadly, it was the first conference to be held in the new Winter Gardens Conference Centre, and the weather was abysmal. So the poor people that had that booked and planned must have had a very wet and windy experience, if you know what I mean. Can I give a mention for Russ Brown's House of Secrets, which is a new magic bar that has just opened at the side of the Winter Gardens. Apparently I passed it in my part 1 video of Back to Blackpool. It's a lovely little bar with great staff and atmosphere, and if anyone is in Blackpool, they should go and check it out. So now you know you're looking for Russ Brown's House of Secrets. Can't say I particularly noticed it, so I will endeavour to have a look for that. I'll write it down because I'll forget. Russ Brown's House of Secrets. Right, so that's that. Right, so I had also been asking as well for meal ideas, and Roger has sent in a meal idea, which sounded quite, I'm not quite sure it's what you might call a healthy, nutritious meal, Roger, but it does sound very nice. He has two frozen potato waffles, 4 ordinary sized fish fingers, and half a tin of baked beans. And an optional is 2 lightly buttered slices of, and he has Jackson's Brown Champion Bloomer. Now, I can't say I've ever noticed a Jackson's Brown Champion Bloomer, which is not easy to say either. The baked beans and the high fibre bread will make sure there's nothing to worry about that's seen on the Bristol chart. So by that, I presume that you're going to be kind of more down here rather than up here, if you get me meaning.
Going to be a Montezuma job.
Yes, and with half a tin of baked beans, well, what can I say? Defrost and grill, toast the waffles, microwave the fish fingers, heat up the beans, plate it up with waffles side by side, top each one with 2 fish fingers, pour the beans over the lot and tuck in. Or you can have mushy peas.
Oh. You got a different.
Oh dear, we know how to live, don't we? We know how to live. Anyway, I've got a treat for you. Moving on to more grown-up matters. Jane Kelt and John Hitchin were both inspired by all this flurry of stormy weather to write some poems. Now, Jane has recited hers. Now, T-Boy, are you going to make a noise? Because we've got a poem to share with the bats.
Nope.
Come on then.
Alright, I'll sit down.
Sit down and shut up. Right, I've turned it up. Are you ready?
Yep.
Are you ready? Right, this is complete with sound effects, this. Complete with sound effects. Are you listening? I shall begin.
Hi Bats, this is Jane here with my latest poem, Triad of Doom, February 2022. Wrought iron stampeded across the country, hammering the sky with blackening gloom, amputating woodland in every county. Landowner Franklin, a goblet of doom. Emboldened Eunice claimed her victory, conjuring turbulence with swift school closures, inflicting death with her cackling witchery. A cauldron of chaos like the sea foaming over. Wood-clearing Dudley, the first in his game, pelted buildings with his triumphant march, inflicted power loss without any shame. February 2022 to blame.
It sounds very windy. That's excellent, that, Jane, and beautifully recited as well. She's also sent me a copy of it, so I shall put that in my poem archive. That's very good, that. I think you've recited that better than I would have done. Can you remember at the end of Crime Watchers when they used to say, don't have nightmares tonight? I'm just going to put this blind down because I'm starting to defrost. I'm starting to get quite warm. Oh, that's better. That's better. I've got my flannelette frock on. Got my flannelette frock on to warm me up. So that's that one, which is excellent, I think. Magnificent, in fact. And John Hitchin has sent us a poem about the last two, about Franklin and Gladys. So he says, Franklin and Gladys go hand in hand in sending more storms and blowing the sand. The sea, it looked angry as it battered our coast. The power of the waves is what we like the most. The weather we've witnessed has been ever so bad. In fact, the worst weather that we've ever had. So thankfully now the storms have gone and we've got peace at last. Looking forward to better weather is all that we can ask. Excellent. Very good, that, John. Very good. I'll put that one in my poem repository. You're very good. Very good. Very good. Now then, you might remember last week me opening this map and showing you this live on air. It's a quite old Blackpool street map, which is very interesting indeed it is. And that was sent in by Graham Stone, who lives in Staffordshire. So as promised, I photographed it and I put the pictures on the comments section, on the community section, on the YouTube channel. And asked if anybody had got any ideas when that might have come from. Well, Alison Fairbank, she lives at Wilvia Court, and there's an advert in here for flats at Wilvia Court, and she says they were built in 1963, so she reckons it's probably around about that year. And somebody else said 1964, so I think that's when it dates back to.
Well, looking at the price on the building
and the style of it, the way it's been designed, I think it's about 63, 64. The guy that sent it, I think he thought it was 1970s. Yeah, early 1970s he thought, but I think 1960s personally. So there's another saw. Ring the bell. We don't have much money, but we do see life. Somebody asked way at the top of the programme whether I'd heard anything about Woolworths. Well, I do happen to know the guy, Howard, that owns the building, and he's the same one. You'll have probably seen him on the Blackpool, you know, the sort of fly on the wall things that they do, the series. Because he owns a number of car parks in Blackpool. He's a bit of a character. He owns that one at Adelaide Street, which I very often park on because it's dead handy for the town centre. So I'd messaged him and said at Christmas, could I meet him at Woolworths at South Shore, and would he take me in the building and let me do some filming, and I'd interview him. And then of course everything went pear-shaped with Chrissy. So that got put to paid, and Howard went off to Spain or somewhere. But apparently he's applied for permission to demolish it. Now, I don't know whether you've been up to South Shore recently and seen that Woolworths, but it literally is, well, I'd say 4 walls, but I'm not sure there's even 4. All the windows are sort of knocked out. It's full of pigeons. There's been kids in it and vagabonds sort of setting fires. The roof's off. It's a right mess. So as is customary in Blackpool, it will be quite sensible to flatten it and use it as a temporary car park while somebody is thinking of something to do with the land, and apparently it's been refused at the council. So that's what I know about the old Woolworths. The old Woolworths is in limbo. The original Woolworths on the prom is now Wetherspoons and Sports Direct upstairs, and the building's been renovated and it looks lovely. In the sunshine like this, it will be glistening. It will. Glistening. It's a lovely building. Matt says, can I show us a tour of your office? Well, you can see most of it.
it's protected.
It's a protected species. There's 3 of us. There's 3 of us that sit in here. So Daddy Rabbit is very cosy. Daddy Rabbit sits here, and T-Boy, in fact, if he stands up and waves, you'll be able to see him. Wave, T-Boy. Trainee. Yeah, a bit further. Here you go. You see, that's T-Boy in training's desk, and that's it.
And I have the company car.
Yeah, he's got a company car. Kevin's DIY.
Wrong number. Don't ring that number.
Don't ring that number. There you go. What was the idea about the tricycles, Glenys says? Well, I went in the bike shop at Cleveley's and said I would pop back and speak to him. Well, we've been trying to think of a way to get a sort of a bike hire scheme running. So, given the fact that we've got a bike shop in Cleveley's, it seemed sensible to suggest it to the man that has the bike shop. But he didn't seem right keen.
I have trouble getting on hire bikes.
Yeah. Where you going?
But if anything comes of it, I'll let you know. I'll let you know. Right, so crap letters. That's what I was going to tell you about next. Last week we were talking about Leroy and Helen's Crowd and Loud and Chris Higgett and Beyond the Edge and whatnot. And after we'd done Brew at Tool last week, I had a quick watch at the last video that Beyond the Edge had done, and they've renamed Leroy's postbox at Chris Higgett's £1 burger bar as Crap Letters, and apparently that stands for Chris, Roy and Pete, I think. So anybody that wants to send any post to any of the Blackpool FYLDE COAST loggers can send it to Crap Letters, 6 to 8 Dale Street, FY1 5AF. And obviously you need to say which vlogger it's for, and then they get the right envelope to the right person. So when I next go to Blackpool, I am going to go and see if I can find Mr. Higgett. I would have gone this week, but Tuesday was the only day that the sun was going to shine, and I've not got time to do what I need to do and then get back, because it's usually like, you know, mid-afternoon when I come strolling in. So there you go, crap letters. So I'm going to, Matt's just asking when I'm going to visit Chris. I'm going to probably go, well, if it's nice next week and I've got a chance to get to Blackpool, I shall go next week. Yes, so that should be interesting. Right, that takes us on to birthdays. And another drum roll. So we're back onto birthdays. Now then, if you were following carefully, you will remember the story I told you at the top of the hour about Sue and Chris. Is it Chris? No, it's not Chris. There's a Chris and a Sylvia. And there's Sue and Sylvia. That's why I'm muddled up. I find it very difficult to tell my left from my right. And things that are similar, like up and down and whatnot, I get very easily mixed up. Anyway. So when Sylvia came in last week, no, that's not right, is it? That's not right. I'm still telling you it wrong tale. I wrote it down in my little book. That was it. It was Sue's birthday and Sylvia had come to buy her the cup. That's it.
Do you know about the shop?
Shop?
Our shop.
Oh, no. I'll tell you about that when I've done this. So it was Sue Southern's birthday on the 24th of February, and we missed that. So you can have a round of applause, Sue, retrospectively. And then these are birthdays in between the 1st and the 8th of March. So we've got Trevor Aikenhead on the 4th. Happy birthday, Trevor. Happy birthday. And it would have been Mel's birthday from the Isle of Man on Thursday the 3rd. But unfortunately, very sadly, Mel died last year. But it's the first birthday that Brian, her husband, will have had on his own. So people that we've lost are not forgotten. So I thought we'd remember Mel. On a special day. So that's the birthdays. Right, so T-Bone Training's just piped up to remind me to tell you about our shop. Well, another thing that we've been scurrying away at and doing at the back, in the back room, as you might say, we've been building
It's an idea, really, isn't it?
we've been building Amazon Mark II. What did Jeff Bezos say? That he'd started Amazon on his garage, on a table in his garage.
Yes.
And you know, running Amazon out of here. Joking apart, we're providing a platform for local businesses to sell their products on Visit FYLDE Coast, because we get lots and lots of visitors, readers, watchers, viewers, all the rest of it. And there are loads of local businesses that have not got the time or the skills or the knowledge to be able to sell online. And obviously these people are going to miss out as we all increasingly shop online. If you don't sell online, you're going to get forgotten. So we're kind of providing that platform.
Support your local high street.
So you can support your local high street, and obviously we charge a small fee in order to provide them with that facility. So by buying from them through us, you'll help us to do more of this. Did you follow that? Did you follow that? So currently we've put some of our Seaside Emporium things on to make it look better. And we've also as well got our first retailer online, which is Ashworth's Pets and Puzzles, which is the pet shop on Victoria Road West in Cleveland. And I don't know whether you've ever been in there, I don't know whether you like jigsaws, but it's absolutely packed with jigsaws from literally floor to ceiling. It's only a small shop, but it's brilliant, and it's a family business. Mum runs jigsaws and books down one side of the shop, and son runs pet stuff down the other side of the shop, and that's why it's called Pets and Puzzles. So if you want to have a look, you can find that under, funnily enough, shop on the top of, on the menu on top of Visit FYLDE Coast. So I think that's it. Would you like to add anything to that, T-Bone Training?
It's a little bit like me at the moment. It's not pretty, but it's functional. But it will be. It will be pretty. It will be pretty in time.
Oh, I'm getting hot.
Oh,
Let me dig under here and find an hair clip. I'm definitely.
You know why you're getting hot? Because it's like Amazon.
Yeah. Let me pin that out at way. Goodness me, it's like wearing a fur rug when you've got long hair. Can you see my glasses steaming up? I think I'm having a moment. Where's my fan? Let me get my fan. Oh. Yeah, I think thoughts of selling jigsaws has warmed me up. Yeah, and there's plenty of online jigsaws as well on Visit FYLDE Coast. And the website where we make the jigsaws, there's thousands, so fill your bowls. Right, I think we've finished. Just at the point I was starting to get warmer and warmer and warmer. Warmer and warmer and warmer and warmer. I think we've finished, and I think all it leaves me to do...
Can I open my window now then?
No, because we're conserving gas, Kevin, because the energy is so expensive, because we've got an idiot turning the tap off in Russia.
Oh, I forgot that bit.
Put the blind down if you're too hot.
Yes, ma'am.
Sweat.
Take your extra pair of knickers off.
Yeah. Sweat. Sweat because you're not opening the window, because that means we'll have to put the heating on earlier. If anybody's got any questions, shout outs, or anything else that you want next week, feel free to send an email to jane@therabbitpatch.co.uk, or you can pop a comment underneath in this today's vlog. best way to make sure that I don't actually miss what you're trying to tell me is to send an email. So I would suggest that you do that. So without any further ado, I think that's us people. I think that's time for the encore. Are you ready? Mr. Spike Milligan, I give you a smile. Smiling is infectious, you catch it like the flu. When someone smiled at me today, I started smiling too. I passed around the corner and someone saw my grin. When he smiled, I realised I passed it on to him. I thought about that smile, then realised its worth. A single smile just like mine could travel around the earth. So if you feel a smile begin, don't leave it undetected. Let's start an epidemic, quick, and get the world infected. See you next week. Bye for now.